So, if anyone has watched Ajax's release video, their special event, which was done last week, November the 21st, they launched something which it got installers and manufacturers talking about. What was it? It was grade 3 wireless. Making this video just to have a discussion about that, because I've read a lot of comment in some forums on social media platforms, and there's a mix of installers. So some installers saying, wow, brilliant, you know, they're disruptors. And then other installers are saying how they've launched that, they haven't got the certifications. So I thought I'd just come on, make a bit of a video discussing. And by all means, drop your comment down below and let me know what you think. So first thing, is it a game changer that they brought out? I would say yes, because no other manufacturer has at the moment, before Ajax, brought out a wireless grade 3 product. And why is that? It could be that some of the regulations in EN 50131 have changed in September 2025. It could be that no one has, or no other manufacturer has decided to put the investment in to actually develop the requirements for grade 3 wireless. But then you might turn around and say, well, is there that much of a market share in grade 3? So let's just break that down a little bit. Within the UK, we've got your grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Grade 1 would probably be about 5% of the overall market. You know, your DIY systems, brands such as, let's say, Simply Safe or your Yale, or anything that you could go off, pick up from a DIY store. Your grade 2 would probably fit around about 80% of the overall market share. That's everything from your domestic properties to retail to even warehouses. And then we have your grade 3. So now we're talking your high value stores, your jewelry stores, your bank, post offices, high value distribution centers. They would predominantly be your grade 3. And that would probably sit around 15% of the market. So what we've seen is in your grade 2, which is, as I've said, is around 80%. That's where we've got your wireless technology. And wireless technology has been there for quite a number of years, and it's been adopted by quite a number of installers. Why would now Ajax bring out a grade 3 wireless system? So let's just touch back on this a second. Their grade 2 wireless, which they have, around about 90%, it ticks all the boxes of what a grade 3 system requires. So they were pretty much 90% already there. So in their eyes, they only had to develop further 10% of what they've already got. So it wasn't that much of an actual investment. And there's installers saying, oh, it can't be wireless, it has to be wired. Well, how have Ajax done it? They have looked at all the requirements that are needed for a grade 3 system. And they have said, well, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this, and now we can actually do this as well. And they've actually ticked all the boxes. And then there's been a number of people who've said they haven't got the certification. You can't really release a product into the UK market as a mainstream manufacturer claiming to have one thing and then not have the certification. So they're going to have the certification to back up what they've said. And they have sent their products to an independent test house who has given them certification that everything meets the requirements for a grade 3 wireless system. So then the question leads to, is everyone going to now be installing grade 3 wireless? And I think the answer is no. And why do I say that? The price is obviously going to be a bit higher than what you can do with a grade 2. Not every requirement requires a grade 3 system. I've just gone through which kind of places would require it. I'll go back to where I said it was only like a 15% of the market that actually requires a grade 3. However, but what Ajax have actually said is they've come out and says, you can do it. Whereas other manufacturers have always probably said, no, it can't be done, it can't be done. Ajax have now turned around and says, can do it, and here you go, because we've done it. But then that brings on, people are going to be saying, well, will the NSI and will the SSAIB approve it? Technically, it's got nothing really to do with them on the actual devices themselves, because their auditor will go along to a site and say, does this site meet the requirements of a grade 3 system? Has it got the anti-masking feature? Has it got the polling back feature and everything else that's required? And then they will then assess to see that yes, that site meet a grade 3 requirements with a wireless system. But then you've got the installers who have always predominantly probably charged a bit more because it is a wired solution that they've had to install previously. However, other installers might come along and say, right, we can now do this system as a wireless system. And what locations am I talking about? Let's say predominantly somewhere where cabling was always an issue. Maybe listed buildings, it may be thick stone walls, it may be places where running cable in distribution centers was just a no-go. Maybe in areas manufacturing plants or places where they're running 24 hours and they can't close down to start running new cabling. It then asks another question is, are we now going to be getting cowboy installers purchasing grade 3 systems and going out and installing them in commercial premises and telling people you've got a grade 3 system and telling the clients that now you've got a grade 3 system installed? There probably is going to be a chance of that. However, this then brings into account that you need to be NSI or SSAIB to install a grade 3 system to get the insurance approval. Now, when I say you need to be, technically you don't, because there's no law stating you have to be. However, the insurance company is going to want to know, has it been installed by an accredited, whether it's NSI or the SSAIB installer? Because if it needs police response, then you have to be one of those installers to get the URN number from the police force. And then people will say, well, is it insurance approved? Again, the insurance companies don't approve the system that you're installing. What the insurance companies will say is you need to have a product that fits these requirements. And then if you can turn around and say, well, we have a product, it's been installed by an accredited installer, and they have said that it now ticks all the boxes, the insurance company can't really say, well, no. But is it really game changing? And is it, like people say, is it market changing? I think only time will tell. I think we have to refer back to what I said. It is a small share of the overall market, but what it has done is it has brought out Ajax. They're not stopping at just a grade 3 wireless intrusion system. They will be there. Just look at Ajax's R&D. It is amazing. And they bringing out products, not even every year. They're bringing them out throughout the year. And they're always trying to better what they brought out. So I think we're going to see a lot more products coming out from Ajax over time. And even I think some of the installers who've always knocked it, says, I will never install Ajax. It's a lick and stick. It's taken away the skills, etc. I think even some of those people will keep looking at Ajax and saying, maybe I need to start looking at this product. But like I said, drop your comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are.